Hey guys, it's Cherry again. Just another one of my latest ideas of showing the replay from the first time I take a particular ship out in a battle. Now, the ship in question is the new French battleship, the Lyon, Tier 7. The map is Northern Lights. The ship is the Tier 7 French battleship Lyon with 16 guns. The current layout on the ship is it's completely stock apart from the hull. It has a upper hull upgrade which I used some free XP to get, because frankly there's nothing quite like taking a ship out with a stock hull. This is the first game, so what I'm doing is I'm doing the thing where I take a replay of my very first impressions on a ship. Now, I was really excited to get the Lyon because I just looked at it with 16 guns, Tier 7. Never, ever, 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 ever going to get old. Like, ever. And this is my initial experience. Now, what we're going to do here as a division is we're going to go and hold, where possible, hold the corner near the A cap with all of the, should we say, dangers that entails, especially when you're down tiered. Now, my layout on this ship, it's actually currently an 11-point captain that I've taken off of the Normandy. Has the priority target, the expert marksman for the turret rotation, superintendent for the extra heal, and concealment, because concealment. The concealment range on the ship is 13.2 kilometers. Gun range without the gunnery upgrade, because obviously I haven't researched that yet, is 16.7. So, well, judging by the way I played the Normandy and the experience I had with the Normandy, the French guns aren't the most reliable by a long shot. Basically, if you're shooting anything over about 12 or 13 kilometers, you might as well just roll a dice and say some are going to hit, some are not, some may not. The ideal range for this ship is sort of sub 11 kilometers. Your main target of choice is going to be cruisers, or British, French, possibly German battleships. Probably not the Germans. Certainly Japanese, British and French battleships alongside cruisers. Destroyers, I'm going to go out and say no, because the high velocity shells just don't seem to have the ability to do solid damage on destroyers the way that something like Fuso or a Nagato would do, because they just carry a lot. They carry a much lower velocity. As I say, the optimum for this is probably 11 kilometers, maybe 10. Closer the better, basically. The 16 guns they're lovely. It's a nice thing to see them in the air, but they're not. Should we say, what's the best way of describing it? They're not ideal. So currently, we've got Ark in his Scharnhorst, myself in this thing just backing off, ready to start kiting away, and for some reason known only to my good friend Ark, he thought that Fiji was a Belfast. That's exactly the words he used in TeamSpeak. He thought the Fiji was a Belfast. He didn't actually twig that there was more than one ship there with torpedoes. He was calling for us to kill the Miyoko, but to be honest with you, I was more worried about the Fiji, thinking that he just didn't see it. Now, Ark has gone absolutely balls to the wall, Leroy Jenkins into that entire group of ships in a Scharnhorst. Yeah. So this is going to put us on a very slight disadvantage on this map as it stands. You've got Miyoko, Fiji and a Normandy down there. They are backed up by a couple of other ships, and he is going for it down there. Yeah. I don't actually know how well that's going to work. Right, now, back to these guns. Salvo. I can fire a salvo and do 950. I can fire a salvo and get 6 hits and do 950. Or I can fire a salvo like that, get 1 hit and do a citadel. The guns are as random as you like. So we've lost the Scharnhorst. No surprise there. Now it's a case of going a little bit defensive. Now I've got a Gator out in front. My division Fiji is basically trying to get out of trouble there. I do have a Cleveland with me who, not going to name or shame, didn't have the most, well, he did have a good game, but it felt during the game that he wasn't actually helping an awful lot. Now it's just a case of try and whittle these things down. So 20,500 damage after 5 minutes, no kills, we're down a ship, and we appear to have held the flank. Now this is the magic here, we've held the flank against a much, much stronger force. The worry I've got looking at this map is the rest of our team, who outnumber the ships on the other side, are stalled. So it doesn't matter what we do over here, we are going to have problems over there. So so I'm going to try to nibble this Normandy down. And there's a Lyon there that, sorry, Miyako there. I just want to get that thing finished. It's low health. But these guns are not great at range. They really are not great at range. And then you pull a shot like that. And that is, I think, down to the French dispersion. Because you basically spray an area. It's literally an area effect weapon. You fire them and something might stick. Bit concerned about why the Normandy decided to fire HE, because, you know, reasons. But the game's just got a little bit static now. Our team have not taken the other two caps. They are huddled up and held off by King George V, a Bismarck, and the balance of the enemy cruisers, with a couple of destroyers over there, and they are holding back. We got a Kagero that's actually behind the main line of attack, rather than trying to get around the back or spot or torp or do something. So basically that is looking a little bit messy over there. Currently the scores are at 360, 627. My first game in the Lyon is not going swimmingly. It is a nice word. Not going swimmingly. It's not less than ideal. Less than ideal. I like that one. Got a Fiji spamming from smoke. If I hold my fire now, I should go invisible for the Fiji, but it's a bit pointless holding fire. If I can finish this Normandy off, I can go bow into the Fiji, and to be honest with you, he's not going to do an awful lot of damage to me, even if he wanted to. So I've used a heal, and I've lost about 11,000 hit points. We really need to get one of these battleships finished. Cleveland, that I started to crib about a little bit, could have done with maybe getting level with me, if nothing else. In the end, he actually has a good game, but I could have really done with him just being that little bit closer to me, and maybe have his guns ready to take that Fiji when it lit up. So we've got 20 seconds on a reload. We're going to have to go broadside to the Fiji, because the thing with the arcs on these guns, they are actually better, the arcs on the Lyon, when you're kiting away from the enemy. This is where I'm going to take a huge hit off of the Lyon on that turn. That was always going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah. So we're currently on 339, 745. We have one cap, the enemy has 3 caps, and our erstwhile team on the right hand side still has not engaged the enemy. I'm going to go into concealment. I'm going to use my concealment and try and get into concealment here. Try and get away from that Fiji whilst I get a heal back. I do have a heal coming off of cooldown, so we can make use of that. Try to get that Fiji dibbled down once and for all. But if you look at the arcs in these shells, the moment you're over any sort of sensible range, they just don't. They really don't do the job at all. Most battleships, a cruiser broadside at 14 kilometres, you're going to annihilate it. Unfortunately, this ship, not so much. This is probably not the best map for the Lyon. I'd say this is possibly one of the worst of the maps, because I think you're going to need to be using things like islands and stuff Again, no hits. So it's a case of now bail out and try to rescue the other side. North Carolina's decided that enough's enough. He's going to push for the A cap alone against a Leander, a King George V, a Fiji, and a Lyon. And I actually there's a distinct possibility. There's actually a possibility on a destroyer being in that mix as well, because that destroyer has not been spotted for quite a while. So we're at 10 minutes into the game, 37.7 damage. I've taken most of my hit points in damage, and we are at 462,771, 3 caps to 1, and we are down an extra ship. We've lost both of our destroyers. The enemy have lost neither of their destroyers. On a side note, Lyon, it's such a pretty looking ship. These French ones are all quite pretty. I ruined mine a little bit. I put the French Revolutionary camo on it because I am desperately trying to get the engine upgrade. So I went with an XP camo, XP flags, just everything, just trying to get the engine upgrade. And funny enough, you can pretty much do the engine upgrade in one game with flags. So this is the only game I shall be playing with it this dog slow. So my plan here is to stay invisible, go gun silent, try to relocate to the C cap and see if we can, if the North Carolina survives this and manages to actually get the A cap, we may actually be in a slightly better position. The Algerie and the Cleveland are now only facing a Cleveland. That really on the right hand flank, they should be over there heavily pushing that thing, because the enemy's big guns are here with the Lyon. Here comes Mahan, as I thought there was a destroyer over here. And we just lost the Carolina. So 785, 502, we're 5 ships to 5 ships. They have a destroyer left. They have 3 caps, we have 1. Yeah. Yes. I'm going to have to find some ridiculous music to put alongside this, I think. In fact, whilst this is moving from one part of the map to the other, I shall leave a nice gap just to put some rousing music on, just to try and give this thing some life. So now, coming in around the caps here, we have a Leander, a Cleveland over there. Let's get some shells in on the Leander, see if anything happens. Look at that spread. Now you see the ones going off to the right there? They were actually the rear turret shells. Yeah. Yeah. Not the greatest accuracy on these guns. I think it's going to be the theme of the video. How inaccurate can your guns be? As I said, point blank, the ship is awesome. I've played subsequent games to this. I think I played 4 or 5 games back to back, and I think for the first 3 games I was averaging nearly 3.5 kills a game, which is not terrible. And I will be putting up a video a bit later of some of the, now as I started to work out how the best way to play the ship was, there's some epic tanking going on in one of the replays that I'll do later. But as for this one, we are heading to the C cap. Scores are currently 559902. We are holding 1 cap, we are delaying 1 cap, or just taking 1 cap at the A cap. Sorry, we have 2 caps, the B and the D. We are about to take the A cap. So if I was in the enemy team and I was one of their better players, I would be probably screaming blue murder in chat. about how they're managing to throw this away. I mean, they've gone from a massive lead with pretty much unassailed caps to, well, being 2 caps to 1, or 2 caps to 2 with us taking the other one. They are still, the Fiji is still keeping the the Normandy from actually taking the cap, but they're obviously also not picking up any points. Now this Mahan has decided that, I think the consensus that we could hear from what people said afterwards about the game was that the guy had thought the game was over and won, so he's going to make a cup of tea because they had such an unassailable lead. Let's get some guns out on that thing, kill the Mahan. That leaves us with the second kill. 43,000 damage, 2 kills, 3 ships versus 2 ships. Normandy's got good health. Let's get the sea cap taken. That means that we're now at 666,878. The loss of that destroyer really did help us. We've now, for the first time in the game, actually got a ship lead. We're now at 3 against 2. We are about to cap the 3rd cap, so we're 3 caps to 1. Fiji is very low health, and Lyon is about the same as myself. I just don't want to take another one of those broadside blattings from the Lyon. And that is the power of the randomness of the Lyon guns. So now we have 2 versus 1, and Cherry and myself is going to hit the island because I really didn't look. However, in hindsight, as you shall see, it was quite possibly the best place I could have crashed, because my rear turrets are in action now against that Lyon, and I'm firing without being spotted. So it doesn't actually matter if I go full broadside just to get the guns in. I'm actually firing from concealment. So we're just waiting for the 2 front turrets to come around. So I'm currently playing with 8 guns rather than 16. The Normandy is, I have no idea what that Normandy player is doing. I don't know how he thought it was a good idea to go broadside that tight to a Lyon. Normandy has 12 guns, Lyon has 16. On paper, that should just be a no-brainer. The Lyon should be winning this. And we can get some shells in. Anyway, enough of this one. Thanks for watching. It will end fairly soon when this Lyon dies. And if you like the video, subscribe. If you don't, poke a message. If you poke a message, then have fun.